Absolutely unbelievable. Prince Harry tried to con the UK courts with the fake New York paparazzi chase and more to try in his attempt to win UK taxpayer funded security. Oh, I'm going to give you all the details you need to know right now. Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to another dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much got me eye, and oh my goodness. Yeah, let's jump into this one, shall we? Because earlier on today, I had reported breaking news that Prince has lost big time in his attempt against the UK government to try and win back UK taxpayer funded security. We've now been able to actually read through the full judgment from Mr. Justice Lane, who is the hero of the hour and completely denied Prince Hazard. If you want to know more details, then check out my breaking news Daily Nerd video from earlier on today. But reading through this judgment, there were a couple of things that stood out to me, and I was like, is he having a giraffe? It's an absolute unbelievable con, opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, that Hazard tried to play in court. So 2 things jumped out to me. Let's get to the first one. So the May 2023 New York near-car catastrophe situation with the paparazzi, right? I'm going to go through the specific paragraphs I plucked out from the judgment, and then, you'll see, guys. So, on the last day of the hearing before me, paragraph 135 states, Ms. Fatima KC produced a copy of a letter dated December the 6th, 2023, from the Chief of Intelligence in the New York City Police Department. Okay? Now, it's addressed to the Chief Superintendent, OCU Commander, Royalty and Special Air Protection. Chief of Intelligence says that he wishes to make the Chief Superintendent aware of certain changes to the security posture that will be afforded to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex in light of the security incident that took place on May the 16th, 2023 in New York City. The letter says that a thorough review of the incident had taken place, and although no formal charges were brought against the parties involved at the time, we did conclude that the behaviour in question was reckless as a result of blah blah, beginning with an upcoming trip in the current weeks. Now, bear in mind that some of this judgment, there is redacted text for security reasons. I'm on board with that, that's fair enough, right? The investigation had found reckless disregard of vehicle and traffic laws and persistently dangerous and unacceptable behaviour on the part of paparazzi during the night in question. They had operated vehicles, scooters and bicycles in a manner that forced the security team, which included the NYPD lead car, to take evasive actions on several occasions and a circuitous route to avoid being struck by pursuing vehicles or trapped on side blocks. The conclusion was that there was sufficient evidence to arrest 2 individuals for reckless endangerment. Now, on a whole, I'm there thinking, that is highly convenient that this letter drops on the last day of the hearing, first and foremost. And then, secondly, I'm there thinking, okay, well, if it was reckless and, it was dangerous, then why were no formal charges brought against the parties involved at the time? And if there is sufficient evidence to arrest 2 individuals for reckless endangerment, why have those arrests not been made? Highly convenient that this letter drops on the last day of the hearing. Simple as. Then we jump all the way to paragraph 208, and the judge writes, I've noted earlier how the claimant took grave exception to the categorisation by the defendant of this issue in 2023 as relating to privacy. Plainly, the uncontrolled activities on highways of photographers can pose both a direct and indirect danger to the safety of road users and pedestrians. That danger is not to be underestimated. The essential point that was being made on behalf of the defendant, however, is that potential problems arising from the activities of paparazzi are not a matter for Ravik, not this government committee that determines if he gets the full security or not. The same point emerges from the evidence of Mr. Hipgrave. Ravik is concerned with security against persons bearing a hostile intent towards an individual, not those who, however recklessly, may cause danger in their efforts to get a photograph of a celebrity that they can then try to sell to a media outlet. Again, Ravik is concerned with security against persons bearing a hostile intent towards an individual, not those who, however recklessly, may cause danger in their efforts to get a photograph of a celebrity that they can then try to sell to a media outlet. In other words, Ravik's not concerned about paparazzi, Hazza. They're not posing a danger because they don't have hostile intent towards you. They're just wanting to get a picture so that they can sell it on, no matter how recklessly they try and get that picture. Going on to paragraph 209, it's in the light of this important point that the letter of 6th of December 2023 from the Chief of Intelligence of New York City Police Department needs to be considered. Contrary to what appears to have entered the public domain, the letter states that reckless endangerment did take place on 16th of May 2023 when the claimant and the Duchess were being driven in Manhattan. The claimant suggests that if a photographer is able to get so close to the vehicle in which the claimant is travelling in order to take a photograph of him, then so too could someone with intent to harm the claimant. While this may be true, it sheds no light on the risk of there being persons with such hostile intent. So there is no intelligence out there, right, that there is anyone with hostile intent that wants to go towards Hazza, Megzi and the family, get close to them, and do something absolutely horrific and unspeakable and unforgivable. And the judge is recognising that. Oh, yeah. Hazza tried to use the whole fake New York catastrophe with a paparazzi situation in the court to try and, opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, con the court to award him this UK taxpayer-funded security that he wants. And the court saw right through it and it was like, jog on, mate. Jog on. And this is the thing, right? If the judge turning round and saying, look, there's no evidence whatsoever that there are any individuals out there with intent to harm him. That's how I'm reading that document as, right? Well, if that's the case, then in the same breath, why does it say that there's sufficient evidence for 2 individuals to be arrested for reckless endangerment? Something doesn't add up here. To me, it's that freaking letter from New York Police Department arriving just on the last day of the hearing. How convenient. Opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. I think there's been a little bit of the bending of the facts, right? Not entirely true, but it's not entirely false either. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of an exaggeration there, methinks. Now, let's just remind ourselves what happened in the aftermath of Hazza and Megzi announcing to the world that they were in a near catastrophe situation with the paparazzi, similar to what horrifically Princess Diana went through, right? Well, first up, we had the mayor, calling BS on this. So let's go.
I would find it hard to believe that there was a 2-hour high-speed chase.
Finds it hard to believe that there was a 2-hour high-speed chase. Then let's go on to the cab driver.
I think that's all, exaggerated and stuff like that. So don't read too much into that.
It's all exaggerated and stuff. Don't read too much into that. Oh, yeah. And then we also had the NYPD themselves turning round and saying at the time that the car chase didn't warrant further investigation. Turning round and saying that they don't believe anyone, including the paparazzi or members of the royal couple security team, broke any laws. Acknowledging the situation had become chaotic, but there were no reported collisions, summonses, injuries or arrests. So this is why I'm saying this letter that the court received on the final day of the hearing, mind you, from NYPD, saying all this other stuff that's now in the judgment, I'm there thinking, no. I smell a rat. Now, let's get on to the final bit that I saw in terms of this judgment, which is Hazza trying to use Spare, his own memoir, to try and, opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, con the courts in awarding him the UK taxpayer-funded security that he wants. So here in paragraph 127 to 128, The claimant was in the UK between 26th to 31st of March 2023 in order to attend a hearing in the Royal Courts of Justice in the various claimants versus the Associated Newspaper Limited. And then, in accordance with the agreed procedure to provide formal notice of the Dukes of Sussex travel to the UK, he followed all of that. Absolutely fine. In light of various matters, including that he was the son of King Charles III, a brother of Prince of Wales, and that Al-Qaeda had recently called for the claimant to be unalived, the Director of European Security said that the claimant redacted text there. So he's using the Al-Qaeda had recently called for the claimant for Prince Hazard to be unalived. On the 21st of March 2023, the chair of RAVIC wrote to explain that following the meeting on 20th of March, certain security arrangements had been made. Shillings wrote on 23rd of March 2023 to the chair of RAVIC, much of this letter was concerned with issues relating to the by now extant judicial review. However, the letter also said that the claimant has serious concerns, not only regarding his own welfare, but also security and safety of others who will, given the nature of a courtroom and its environs, be within close proximity. So, between paragraph 127 to 128, in amongst all that, Hazard's also including the threats that he received calling for him to be unalived, right, from certain groups. I'm not going to say it again because YouTube human reviewer, right? But this is the thing. It's his own damn fault that he put himself in danger with that in the first place, that there were renewed calls for him to be unalived. Now, I made a couple of videos on this, and I actually defended Megxi because Prince Hazard not only put himself in danger, but Megxi and the children as well. And you can see this is an excerpt from Spare, and you can read it all through in your own time. But in Spare, he literally turns round and says how many he unalived of the enemy combatants. He said it was 25. He compared them to being chess pieces being removed from the board, and he had to learn a detachment of sorts so that, you know, he wouldn't feel guilty about it, this, that, and the other, right? And yeah, the enemy combatants responded, but by the way, to my knowledge, it wasn't Al-Qaeda, it was the Taliban, okay? So I don't think they've got their facts right with this. But yeah, they actually responded. Anas Haqqani, a senior aide and brother of the interim Afghan interior minister at the time, tweeted that the people Harry claimed he unalived were humans, saying they're not chess pieces, they were humans. They had families who were waiting for their return. Among the unalivers of Afghans, not many have your decency to reveal their conscience and confess to their war crimes. The truth is, what you've said, our innocent people were chess pieces to your soldiers, military and political leaders. Still, you were defeated in that game of white and black square. You also had Bilal Karimi also issuing a reply saying, we'll never forget such acts. The Afghanistan as Muslim nation will never forget such acts and will always defend its land. The recent confession by Harry, who brutally unalived 25 of our countrymen during his mission in Afghanistan, shows that such crimes are not limited to Harry, but to all those occupying country forces who were in Afghanistan. You even then had, guys, our own army veterans criticising Hazard, saying you shouldn't have written this in the first place. Retired Colonel Richard Kemp saying that these comments that he made in Spare put the Prince's security at greater risk. And extremists who support the Taliban may now be motivated to unalive Harry because of memories that have been resurrected by his comments. But, you know, should we really take his comments to heart in Spare when only recently the US government in his visa court case turned around and said, well, you know, don't believe the book too much. It's embellished just to potentially sell more books. Because it's not proof that he actually took any illicit substances whatsoever. So, everything that he wrote here in terms of his time in Afghanistan, well, maybe he's just embellishing that as well just to sell books, right, guys? Oh my goodness. I'm still reading through the judgment. If there's anything else that jumps out to me, I'll make you guys aware of it. But with that being said, if you appreciated this video and you want more, believe me, of course there's going to be more, then make sure you subscribe to join our Alter Nerd tribe. I'll be honest with you, help us get to 100k so we can get that silver play button right there and hopefully cause a Christopher Boozy meltdown on Twitter. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatever's. Also as well, if you've got some very strong opinions about what I've just gone through in this judgment, and I bet you do, then make sure you send me a super thanks. It's just below this video right here. We can have a conversation about this because it does guarantee a response from me. And until the next time, you guys, laters.